I just don't get it. Like, why are men so terrified of women? Why are you guys so scared to just come up, start a conversation, and ask for our numbers? I don't understand it.
And she wasn't even sad. That's the thing. She said, bye, Mom. She walked in there. She asked me to help her hang up her little book bag. And then she said, okay, bye, I love you. What do we do now? Oh my God. Anyway.
The story begins with a husband who notices something feels completely off after his wife returns from a bachelorette trip to Mexico. During the vacation, she suddenly stopped using her credit card after the very first night, even though she normally spent freely. At the same time, the woman who posted every detail of her life on Instagram and TikTok went completely silent for almost a week. When she came home, instead of sharing photos or talking about the trip, she became distant, slept on the couch, and refused to answer simple questions. Her unusual behavior left her husband with a growing feeling that something wasn't right.
Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with another Reddit story for you. Title of this story is, Am I the Astronaut for Suspecting My Wife After She Went to Mexico and Spent No Money and Took No Pictures? She went on a leave no trace trip? I am in the middle of probably the biggest crisis of my adult life and I can barely think, so I apologize in advance if this comes across as really weird or rambly. My wife went to Mexico last week for a friend's bachelorette party, and aside from the plane ticket, the hotel, and the first day's food and drinks, she didn't spend a penny all week. I mean, on the credit card, it's clear as day that on Monday and up until about 9 p.m., she was buying dinner, stuff at the hotel, shop, drinks at the bar, souvenirs. And then at 9 p.m., she didn't spend another cent the entire week until she was at her layover airport in Dallas. She says it's because her friend took over and paid for everything. I guess this is plausible, but it's still giving me a funny feeling. What is worse is that my wife is a person who posts her entire life on Instagram and TikTok, mostly Instagram. But if she does anything from getting a latte to picking up the kids at school, she will post it either as a picture or as a story. The last thing she posted on TikTok was that a trend of people jumping into their vacation from the airport, and after that, her social media is blank. I was kind of keeping an eye on it because I was excited for her to go on the trip. And again, I guess it's plausible, but it gives me a funny feeling. When she got home, I said I can't wait to see all the pics she took. And she really blew me off and said she just didn't feel like taking pics that week. She has also been incredibly distant. And last night she said she just felt like sleeping on the couch because the AC hits better. This is 100% true, but I swear I heard her talking on the phone in the middle of the night. When I got up to check on her, I accidentally tripped over the dog and made a huge racket, so when I got downstairs, she appeared to be asleep. I brought all of this up this morning and said I'm not accusing her of anything, but all of this put together is making me feel uneasy. I wasn't trying to bait her or fight with her, just get my feelings on the table. She said, "You are a major asshole for bringing this up on her first day back at work." I said I wasn't trying to pry, just communicating with her, and she said, "Your communication is prying, and I am not discussing this with you ever again." She then took the kids to summer camp and left. Am I the astronaut? We have an edit and an update, but for someone to go on a trip, and it is plausible, like bachelorette trips, if it's an all-inclusive thing, it's possible that they were like, all right, you don't spend another dime. Everything is on us from here on out. Could be. What about the rest of it, though? Her behavior change is more alarming, right? And she's defensive. And as we read in a story earlier, it's the response that elevates the sus factor. Okay, let's dive into the edit here. Edit. So I realized that her text probably synced to her iPad, so I just checked. Took me a while to figure out the passcode, but I did. But there was an iMessage at 9:15 the night she got to the resort to a number with no contact info that said, "Okay, I'll meet you in the lobby." Is the app you said Signal? I looked up Signal, and it's kind of like WhatsApp. The iPad doesn't have Signal on it. So she downloaded a different app to chat with somebody and then deleted it. Edit 2, if you've been following my comments, you've seen that my sister is coming over and she's an insane internet sleuth and is relentless when it comes to this kind of cheating stuff. She also scares me a bit, so I'm hoping this isn't a mistake. I'm going to probably stop responding for a while so we can talk and she can do her thing. I am numb, but she can do this. Thanks for everyone and the nice comments and the reality check. It's not looking good. Edit 3, she cheated. My sister was able to get lots of info from the real estate guy, and my wife denied it at first, but then admitted it. Sorry it took so long to update, but I'm numb. I have literally zero idea what to do now. Edit 4 was deleted for personal reasons for OP, per Candy Thunder. Understood. And at 5, I know people really want updates, and we've been talking, arguing, screaming, threatening all day long. I'm more confused than I was this morning, that's for sure. But I'm also confused, exhausted, sad, upset, nervous, and I don't know what to do. I did make a preliminary appointment with a family law attorney tomorrow to talk about protecting assets and how to navigate the legal way ahead, regardless of what I choose to do. I will say there's a subreddit that this was cross-posted to, and it may be the most toxic group of people I've ever seen online, and I feel really bad for those people. As for the privacy issues, no one has figured out who we are. That's not a challenge, by the way. I'm very tired, and I doubt people are still invested, but if there's still an interest, I can update either on this post or a new one in a few days. I'm really hoping to sleep tonight. My sister still has the kids, and they are having a blast and went to the lake with her boyfriend's family today, so I'm glad they're in good hands. And the official update now. Yeah, I have some professional buddies, like some industry buddies who like to use Signal for chatting. And that's literally it. But it's one of those, if your company uses it and you want to interface or engage with other collabs, or apparently if you're trying to hide cheating.
Trying to understand what had happened, the husband looked for answers and uncovered a message on his wife's iPad that changed everything. A text sent on the first night of the trip read, "Okay, I'll meet you in the lobby." He also discovered that a private messaging app had been installed during the vacation and removed before she returned home. With help from his sister, more evidence surfaced, and when confronted, his wife finally admitted she had been having an affair. Shocked and heartbroken, he immediately contacted a family lawyer to protect his future while trying to process the collapse of his marriage.
Official update. Good morning, everyone. I know it's been a while, but as I'm sure you can imagine, this has been the worst week of my life, and it's been an absolute whirlwind of activity trying to get things set up in a life that I don't really even recognize anymore. First of all, I'm now in the process of getting a legal separation from my wife with the aim of getting divorced. She and I both want to take the process very slow so it's fair to everyone. I do have a personal lawyer who is handling the separation, but even she recommends that it will be cheaper and easier for us to do a mediated divorce. She, the lawyer, not my wife, has a colleague who has this sort of package deal where we will work together with a certified counselor while we are meeting with the mediation lawyer to handle the legal aspects. The goal is to learn to be co-parents and friendly while we go through the breakup. I know my wife is hoping to see the counselor with the aim of reconciling. I am doing the counseling so I can learn how to treat her with some sort of respect as the mother of my kids for their benefit. I can't possibly see reconciling, but I guess stranger things have happened. Just to those of you who read along last week, know that my sister is one of those internet sleuths who if you can tell her a first initial in someone's eye color, she can come up with the person's entire life history in a matter of minutes. I've pretty much let her handle all of the dirty work. She did some research on the guy, and he's an absolute piece of shit. He has judgments and liens against him all over the country. He has 6 kids with 4 different women and is delinquent on child support in most of them. And it seems like his MO is to just wait until the kid turns 18 and hope they stop coming after him. And this is the guy my wife picked to ruin everything for. My sister did get in touch with his current wife and said that she has pics and text messages to prove that he was cheating, and so far has not heard back from her. Who knows what's going on with that? My assumption is it's happened so many times she expects it and tolerates it, or maybe we will hear back from her. It was the first gut reaction that I felt too. It's not a surprise to her, and it's happened before. My wife and I are still in the house together until the separation is official, and we may continue to be even after the legal separation is done. I just don't know, and I figure as long as we can be friendly to each other, then it's okay. I had to go away on business last week, and when I got back on Saturday, it was pretty clear the fight in her was gone, and she wanted to talk and accept full responsibility, and was willing to come clean about the whole thing. I told her I really didn't need to hear anymore because her affair partner had confessed the whole thing and even sent pics. I think her thing now is that she's utterly humiliated and has been very quiet, even obsequious as her general manner around the house. It's not really what I want because I didn't get married to have a servant, and the change in her normal fiery and funny personality is only a reminder that something is really wrong. Kids are doing fine. They're spending a lot of time with my sister and her boyfriend and his family, so hopefully looking back, this will just be the summer before their parents got divorced and are missing the turmoil in the house. I guess if there are questions, I can try to answer them, but that's pretty much what's been going on here. There is one more update, but damn, obsequious. Yeah, like subservient, right? Damn. Mel J. Wolf, thank you so much. With the love and the hearts on the YouTube side of the stream, it does make a difference. Thank you. Yeah, poor guy. Like what? So How did she not think when she was going to do this that it wasn't going to be suspicious? And apparently, it wasn't even a bachelorette thing, apparently. She was just going to have this hookup. The bachelorette thing was a farce. Okay, here's the update that is on surviving infidelity. Hello, my posts from the last 2 weeks have gained quite a bit of traction on the AITAH pages, and several people have advised me to post here. Long story short is that my wife went on a trip to Mexico and had a mostly emotional/financial affair, but it got physical at least once. It certainly would have been more, but the guy had pretty severe health issues. I am beside myself with anger and embarrassment, but as the days have gone on, I am thinking that I can't live without her. We have been together since we were 13. We have kids. I have a side business with her dad. I'm great friends with her brother, and my family loves her like a daughter. We're scheduled to bring the divorce mediation next week while also doing co-parent counseling, so the process is moving forward. Part of me feels like I'm grasping at straws to forgive her, but part of me feels like she has shown me a lot of grace and forgiveness, and I should give her the same chance as she gave me. When we were 15, I cheated on her while I was at a baseball camp. Not only did I cheat on her, I dumped her when I got home, explicitly told her it was her fault that I cheated on her because the girl wasn't a good girl Christian. And then I dated other girls that school year and rubbed it in her nose at every opportunity. It wasn't until she started dating that I realized how sorry I was and begged her to take me back. In 17 years, she's never held my behavior against me, except for some light ribbing now that we're older. She forgave me unequivocally, and I vowed that I would never hurt her like that again, and I truly haven't. But I can admit cheating as a horny 15-year-old guy is a far cry from cheating as a 32-year-old mother of two. She had so much more to lose and so many more people who would be hurt by her actions, but she loved me enough to forgive me even though it must have crushed her. I have to admit there's a huge part of me that feels I owe her a second chance because she gave me one, even though the circumstances are so much different. I'm not even really asking what I should or should not forgive her. Rather, are these emotions normal? Am I rationalizing something that should not be rationalized? Okay. So, everybody's going to view this a little bit differently. I feel like, OP, yes, you are rationalizing something that should not be rationalized. I feel like you are grasping at straws here. You feel what is the comfort of your normal world right now slipping away, and you're grasping at anything you can to try to slow that process down. But all of the things that you mentioned, having the side business with her dad, being really close with her brother, those things don't change. Your family loving her like a daughter, that'll probably change. But the other things can keep going. A lot of your life can keep going the way it is. It doesn't have to change. Your connections with previous family members don't have to change, especially if you're in business. The whole 15-year-old thing, like, come on, man. Come on. You know, yes, that's shitty. Shouldn't have done that 17 years ago. Is it 17? Is that right? I understand that there are kids involved. Here's the deal, though. The example for what your children will believe love is and a marriage should be are going to be the example that you set for them in this house. And if you accept this, not to say that it's not fixable, she could do the work to fix this whole thing. I don't know that she's willing to right now. I don't know. But I'm not saying it's not fixable, but if it's not fixable, that child can grow up with healthy parents who choose themselves and choose happiness, and they can provide a great example. If you stay and it's this broken, toxic relationship full of regret and resentment, and it's backhanded compliments to each other, and it's just being shitty, and it's you never fully trusting her and her always being on guard or being obsequious around the house, that is not the example that you want to create for your kids as for what love in a marriage should be. I do not think. You have to look at everything that is involved with every choice that you make here. So let's say, yes, you grasped at straws here and you're like, oh, she gave me a second chance. I should give her one. Okay. What happens later on? How are you going to heal the two of you? How are you going to heal this relationship? How are you going to heal this family? How is it going to work? It is not as simple as just saying, yes, I'll forgive it, or no, I won't. Nothing is simple about this. Everything you do is going to be complicated. You just have to make sure that you think it through and choose the one that takes you to what your goal really is. What do you want? What do you want, OP? You have to answer that. And then remember that every time you're making a choice.
As the truth settled in, the husband faced an even harder decision. Years earlier, when they were teenagers, he had cheated on her, and she chose to forgive him. Now he wondered if he owed her the same second chance. But the circumstances were completely different. They were no longer teenagers. They had been married for years, shared children, built a home, and created a life together. Torn between forgiveness and self-respect, he questioned whether love alone was enough to rebuild the trust that had been broken, knowing that whatever decision he made would shape both his future and the future of his family.